GS score,
GS score, GS score,
GS score,
GS score, GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score है, GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score.
GS score.
Hello friends, I am Manoj K and this session is for main examination 2024, in the sense those who are going to write this examination. So I have designed a very brief session for those only. Now, since you all are going to write main examination this year, otherwise also you have a fair idea about this paper. So I assume, and it's true, that you all have some idea. Now the point is basically what I'm trying to do in this session, that how to make something very short, crisp, doable strategy which helps you to gain the confidence that you are in the safe zone. Why I'm trying so? Because if you look at these people, those who scored very high, Medha scored 140, this year Sisti also scored 130, Swati last year scored 135, Divya 129, Nitesh 127, and so on. Vidushi 126, Madhumita 125. All the copies are uploaded. But if you look at their copies, no copies are similar. They have their own perspective and clarity. Why I am starting with this you can say point, because somewhere you will have to acknowledge your strength. The biggest problem in this paper, sorry, not paper, otherwise also in the entire preparation, that because of the noise and especially the echo that comes out of the coaching institutes, does not allow students to settle down in their preparation, and they always remain confused, in the state of less confidence, which is not good for the preparation. I have seen the students, those who are already good, even they don't have the confidence कि हमने एक preparation achieve कर लिया, एक level of preparation achieve कर लिया. और मैं एक बार सेशन ले रहा था तो मैंने एक इंसिडेंट बताई है स्टूडेंट्स को, और जब मैं मल्लिका सुधीर की कॉपी करेक्ट कर रहा था, सी सिक्योर 26 रैंक फ्यू ईयर्स बैक, तो अगर उसकी कॉपी अगर तुम साइट पे भी देखोगे तो आई हैव रिटन सिंपली दैट एक्सेलेंट एंड देयर इज नो नीड ऑफ रिमार्क्स. For some it may be absurd, but for me and for the candidate, just one communication that you are ready for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning you can go and write mains. My point is basically that when you are preparing for this mains, when the time is very short, 70-75 days, you have to do everything. So my suggestion would be just try to create a matrix where you can measure your outcome. You can measure your everything that you are doing. So you must have used the GPS. In GPS, what you do? In GPS, you lock your destination, and when you lock your destination, then after that you can say track the continuous positioning. This is what you do. You track your continuous positioning. So my suggestion would be that you need to create that kind of matrix which helps you to track that, or it helps you to track your continuous positioning, that this is done, this is done, this is done, in terms of understanding, in terms of reflection, in terms of expression. So in main examination, these three things works, and only these three things work. Conceptually, you are sound or not. This example, that example, common sense, XYZ does not matter. ये noise है. UPSC के point of view से देखो तो इसका कोई sense नहीं है. UPSC के point of view से सिर्फ इतना है कि conceptually you are sound or not. Number one. Number two, reflection. You people stuck somewhere because of the reflection. You don't do anything for the reflection. Reflection means your ability to recall very quick. That you see question and your mental outline is there. That you know where to start, how to finish. What you do? You do nothing. Nothing for that. Simply writing will not work. You have to simply spend 10 to 15 minutes. That's it, nothing else. And anyone who happens to be the part of the GS score, they know it. That why I introduce reflective exercise worksheets. That consumes 10 to 15 minutes, not more than that. That take your entire preparation to the different level. Different level. So my point is basically what I'm trying to say: concept, reflection, expression. What you need to do is you need to combine these three things so that you should be in a position to understand that your preparation is arrived. एक लेवल पे प्रिपरेशन पहुंच गई है. There is nothing called 100%. 100 परफेक्ट प्रिपरेशन जैसे कोई चीज़ ही नहीं होती है. So let's start with Akash. देखना, somebody is writing that sound is not coming. Sound is clear? Fine, thank you. So Akash, recheck. अपूर्व रीचेक. फाइन, एक बार देख लो फिर से लॉग इन करके. एनीवे, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. My whole idea is this only. So in a very brief session, I will help you to you can say create that kind of matrix where you can assess, you can plan, you can execute a very quick strategy. That's it. Nothing else is required. Now the first thing first. You must have got this PDF. ये PDF आप लोगों के पास होगी. अगर नहीं होगी तो I will ask the office to share with you. I have compiled each and everything here. Fine. मैंने सारी चीज़ें compile कर दिया है. So it's already there. It's already there. So my suggestion would be just to go through it. But then before that, let me quickly start the today's session. And to come to the point. Fine. See, the very important aspect for this paper is basically one thing, and that in somewhere you will have to you can say settle down in the noise. You have to settle down the noise. Now just start with one thing. I have a very simple question. If you have to evaluate, suppose you are examiner, fine, and you have to evaluate the copy, what you will do? If you have to evaluate, what you will do? You will evaluate, you can say, on the basis of the two things. Two things are very, very important, or you can say it is the nature of this paper that you need to understand. The number one is abstract nature of the paper. Abstract nature of the paper. That paper is abstract. That somewhere you will have to understand. And next, related to this only, that diverse perspective. Diverse perspective. So when the paper itself is very abstract, and you can say at least 50% questions are abstract, then diverse perspective has to be there. Why I am saying this? Because for this you don't have to be worried about the keywords, common sense, etc. What you need to do to understand is one and only one thing, that there must be clarity of the concept and there must be clarity in perspective, opinion. Now the biggest problem is what I understand by talking to the students, that most of the time you talk about the two things, that this paper is all about the common sense and then this paper is all about certain keywords. If you are good in certain keywords, your job, your task is done. It's not like that. It's not like that. Fine. Otherwise also, that I will explain, but to understand it, to make it very simple, it's not about keywords, rather it's all about the themes, certain themes. For example, if you look at the way I do this, and I am going to do this for this mains, that you will easily identify that there are approximately 40 themes around which you can easily prepare your paper. 40 थीम्स के आसपास अपनी प्रिपरेशन को आप कर सकते हो. कंफर्टेबली कर सकते हो. फाइन. एंड मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2 to 3 questions for each theme. In the sense, if you do 120 questions, 100 to 120 questions, it simply means a better understanding of the entire paper is done. Entire paper is done. Fine. Now, if you can say, look at the things. There are otherwise also I can show you something. Fine. There are only 4 types of questions that has been asked previously. Otherwise, you can say that just going through the previous question papers, last 10 years question paper, all the questions you can categorize in broader 4 categories. I repeat my sentence that if you scan all the last 10 years paper, then you will find that only 4 categories of the questions, 4 तरह के ही questions पूछे गए हैं अब तक. So the first category of the question is open-ended questions. Open-ended questions. Second category of the questions are basically which is based on the keywords which is mentioned in your syllabus. They pick directly from there and then they create questions from there itself, whether it is conscience or emotional intelligence. So directly they pick and create questions. And third type of questions which they have asked in the last 3 years is solution seeking. Solution seeking. It simply means that they are giving you certain problems and they want a practical solution. A solution which is doable, which is practical. Fine. And practical does not mean unethical, mind it. Fine. So third category of question is solution seeking and fourth is applied questions. Applied questions. So the point is basically if you look at last 10 years question paper in section A, easily you can categorize and you can put all the questions in 4 different baskets. That's it. That's it. Now, what does mean by it? So, if the questions are open-ended, then you must have ability to handle the abstract questions. Question can be open-ended, your answer cannot. Your answer has to closed. Your answer has to be objective. क्वेश्चन ओपन एंडेड हो सकते हैं, सॉल्यूशन आंसर नहीं हो सकता. आंसर क्लोज्ड ही होगा, जब भी होगा तो डायरेक्ट ही होगा. फाइन. सिमिलरली इफ यू लुक एट द कीवर्ड्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आर वेरी सिंपल, बट नाउ अ डेज इट्स गॉन. फॉर द लास्ट 2 years you will find that they are not asking the questions. From 2013-2017 there were ample questions from the keywords directly, and this is how that set the tradition where most of the students used to follow, that the keywords is enough. Just go through certain keywords example and your job is done. That will not bring the good perspective. That will not bring the you can say the depth through which you can take the edge. This is competitive examination, and you will find, I will come to the point why in the recent years the variation has gone very high. So third is solution seeking. They have gone to very quality problems of contemporary time, whether it is related to the politics, society, democracy, institution, law enforcing agencies, etc. And then they link it to the different part of the syllabus and then they seek solutions. And fourth is applied ethics, where you will find in the last 4 years the number has gone high, very high, very high. So this is you can say a very easy way to understand the PYQ. Now, what I'm trying to say that if you look at the paper, then my way is basically to, or what I'm trying to say is, you have 40 approx themes in the entire paper. I will not use the word keyword, rather I am using the word theme. And what does mean by it when I am saying? To explain it, let's understand it like this. If you look at the first unit, ethics and human interface, ethics and human interface, then there are 5 topics into it. essence of ethics, dimension, consequences, determinants, ethics in public and private life, etc. Fine. But interestingly, if you look at the theme around which the entire topic moves is moral reasoning. Moral reasoning. This is how you need to identify the theme. Theme here simply means that you got the crux of the entire thing around which the most of that unit moves. So in the entire syllabus, approximately 40 themes are there. And if you do 2 to 3 questions on each, it simply means that your entire syllabus is done beautifully. Beautifully. Then you go for the mock and etc. whatever you go. And again, I am saying you, a good strategy is one which makes things tangible, where you can measure your progress, which is doable, easy, and particularly at this point of time. So let's go to the point. So when I say that these are the types of questions they have asked, then around you can say you can easily create 40 themes around which you can prepare your entire things multiplied by 2 to 3 questions. And this is how you identify the themes. I give you another example for that matter also. Let's take the second unit, and that is called human values. Fine, human values. Now, interestingly, if you look at the syllabus, in the entire syllabus, it doesn't talk about the moral relativism. But interestingly, if you look at the questions of the last 10 years, you will find that if they are asking any question from here, 50% of the questions are related to moral relativism. Moral relativism. Interestingly, but in syllabus, it's not explicit. And this is how you have to dig very deep to the PYQ so that you get some better idea to identify those themes. And this is how it's better to do it. जो मेरा भी अप्रोच है, क्योंकि जब आप फाउंडेशन कोर्स करते हैं तो बहुत डिटेल में जाते हैं, ठीक है साहब वो तो चलो अभी टाइम नहीं है उतना बातचीत करने का, अब बहुत कट टू कट बात करें. और इसी तरह से अगर आप 40 थीम्स आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, मॉरल रीजनिंग, मॉरल रिलेटिविज्म एटसेट्रा, एंड देन इफ यू क्लब विथ कीवर्ड्स, क्लब विथ रिसेंट एग्जांपल्स, क्लब विथ प्रैक्टिस, 4 थिंग्स डन, जॉब इज डन, जॉब इज डन. तो अपनी प्रिपरेशन को टॉप पे ऑप्शनल को रखो, और फिर सेकेंड लेयर जो होना चाहिए वो सब्जेक्ट जो टाइम कंज्यूमिंग हो, पॉलिटी, ज्योग्राफी एटसेट्रा, एंड बीच में इसको स्लिक बना के डालो सैंडविच की तरह, स्लोली स्प्रेड करने दो इसको ग्रेजुअली. बिल्कुल भी टेंशन नहीं लेना है कि ये 10 दिन में खत्म हो जाना चाहिए, 15 दिन में, 10 दिन में खत्म कर लो, लेकिन उसको फिर स्लोली प्रैक्टिस करने दो, क्योंकि एब्स्ट्रैक्ट पेपर है, 50% तो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट है ही, डेफिनेटली है, तो थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. बट एनीवे, लेट्स कम टू द अनदर पॉइंट वेयर आई वांटेड टू bring you to understand the theme, approach, etc. I am taking you through certain numbers, that how they have touched the different components of the syllabus. Fine. तो मैंने बहुत डिटेल में ब्रेक कर दिया है, मैं PDF सभी को भिजवा दूंगा, आप लोगों के अकाउंट में वो चला जाएगा, अदरवाइज मैं साइट पे भी डाल दूंगा, वहाँ से भी आप लोग डाउनलोड कर सकते हो, डोंट वरी फॉर दैट. So the first unit is ethics and human interface, human values. So I think in ethics and human interface, the first essence, determinants, consequences, ethics in human action, etc. Every year they have asked questions. Highest number of questions they have gone to the 5 in 2014. Very interesting. The point which I am trying to raise is here is that if you see these topics, then it moves around 2 things. Why ethics and what is ethics? Crux पहले यूनिट का यही है, because this paper is not simply ethics, this paper is more ethics in action. It's basically a practical paper, ethics in practice. It's not about ethics is the study of moral philosophy. होगा, छोड़ो हटाओ इसको, अभी उसका टाइम अब इस पेपर में नहीं रहा, वो 2013-14 में था. That chapter is gone. So it's better to grow. ठीक है, तो इस तरह से हम आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं कि एक यूनिट की जो की डिमांड है वो क्या है. what it expects from students to understand, what it wants to test. Fine. Similarly, if you look at the human values, ethics in, you can say, human values and etc. If it's all about ethics and human values, is all about 2-3 things. It's about socialization, it's about social institutions, it's about moral relativism. Fine. So this unit basically expects from you that you understand the societal values, socialization, social institutions, moral relativism, etc. in a better way. Then only you can write a better answer. Because if you are conceptually not very sound, you cannot write quality answer. Quality answer. And keywords are nothing. It's just one component. Why to talk much about it? Why to talk much about it? Similarly, if you look at all these attitude and all, I will not go through it, but what I'm trying to say is basically that one habit you will have to cultivate to identify the themes around which in the less time you can do more. For example, if you look at attitude, every year they ask certain questions, but if you club the conceptual part with the PYQs, then you will find that the whole entire attitude paper moves around 2 things, only 2 things, only 2 things. Number 1, the first is function of attitude, and number 2 is behavioral change. Just go and check the entire paper. You will find that most of the questions of the past is moving around these 2 things. So I have identified 2 themes. This is how you have to identify 40 themes जो मैंने आइडेंटिफाई किया है. जिस तरह से मैं लेता हूँ कि मेंस के टाइम पे फाउंडेशन एक अलग चीज़ है, जितने कम समय में कि 40 आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है साहब, और एक दिन में अगर मैं 5-5 थीम भी करते वो चल रहा हूँ, इफ़ आई एम एबल टू कंप्लीट द 5 themes, then 8 to 9 days syllabus part is complete, first level of writing is complete, and then I will enter into the mock, and before mock I am better prepared. Fine. So this is how you have to identify the themes around which the entire unit is designed. That you get it, you can say the theme through the topics, and more important through the PYQ. So this is one thing that which I wanted to simply convey कि आप themes को identify करेंगे कैसे, कहाँ से लेके आओगे. Fine. Now why I say that you need to just move from a popular perception that it's about the common sense, this paper is about the keywords. This paper has evolved, and this is the beauty of the UPSC, that in UPSC every paper evolves. If you understand it, you will be in less pain. If you don't acknowledge it, recognize it, then suddenly you will get a pain that particular day. Why I am saying this? That look at this. So if you look at 2013, more questions were in and around keywords, opinion based, philosophy, etc. 2014, 7 questions were opinion based, abstract. But interestingly, if you look at the way it has moved, from, just a moment, from 2017 onwards, fine, 2017 onwards, you will find that 2017 onwards, more and more questions they have started asking that application of everything that you study in and around, you can say the administration, public administration. 2013, fine. But interesting happened since 2020, and this is the reason since 2020 onwards you will find that the variation is very high. Last year also you see the marks, variation is very high. The candidates like Medha, whose copy you can download from GS Score's website, or other also, those who scored very high, their copies, you will find that they are the students, those who got 130, 35, 40, etc. But at the same time, the students are there who got 80, 85, 90, etc. And it's not about this year alone. You will find that in the previous years also these kind of configuration, or you can say the fluctuation of marks or the variation of marks happen just because of one thing, that since 2020 onwards, if you look at the questions, they have gone to the deep concepts. And then another type of questions, they have gone very high in the applied questions. So if you don't have a perspective, and your ability to quickly construct the answer there itself without having any concrete syllabus, then it's very difficult. Because why I am saying concrete syllabus? Because here it's not a very concrete syllabus like the geography and economy. Yes, that themes may help you to design a very concrete syllabus where very quickly you can recall certain things, and joining the dots you can construct the answers. To understand this more, let's move to you can say, I have also captured the keywords in this PDF. I have also captured the keywords, किस कीवर्ड से किस साल में किस ईयर में उसने कितने क्वेश्चन टच किए हैं, कन्विक्शन, पेट्रोटिज्म, इन्वायरमेंटल, ट्रस्टवर्दीनेस, फॉर्टिट्यूड, परसिवेरेंस, एटसेट्रा. तो मैंने बहुत ही डिटेल्ड में इसकी यू कैन से जो एक ट्रेंड है उसकी पोस्टमार्टम की है. इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि हमें उसको ट्रेंड को समझना है, इसलिए क्योंकि मैं थीम्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर पाऊँ. फाइन, where it helps me to you can say do more in less time. So that is the motto. Let's come to the questions. Now if you look at the you can say the questions, fine, you will find that from this most of the questions are open-ended, deep opinion and perspective based. Fine, some questions are abstract also. Fine. Now what does mean by it? It simply means that whatever you prepare, it is of less importance in those 3 hours unless you have a very good command over the topic, syllabus, and your ability to very quick recall and design the answer. क्योंकि ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन में आप बहुत कुछ नहीं कर सकते. वो एक एबिलिटी है साहब, वो एक स्किल सेट है जो आपके प्रैक्टिस के साथ ही इवॉल्व होगी. बट एनीवे, सो लेट्स कम टू द पॉइंट. नाउ इफ यू लुक एट द क्वेश्चन, दिस क्वेश्चन 2, नाउ सिंपली गो थ्रू दिस क्वेश्चन. Some people feel that values keep changing with the time and situation, while others strongly believe that there are certain universal and eternal human values. Give perception, justification, etc. Now what does mean by it? It simply means this is a question that tests diverse perspective. Because it clearly says some people feel that value keep changing. It's true. But then in answer, you have to capture and you have to clearly bring that diverse perspective. Why it is like this? Why it is like this? My point is basically where I wanted to bring you, not to discuss the answer, rather to highlight that when you prepare, if you are not able to reflect upon those themes, then you may not be in a position to recall the things very quickly and capture in your answer. And again I repeat my words that there are 3 things that you have to connect. Concept is 1, reflection is 2, and expression is 3. If you don't do anything for reflection, just by giving 10 to 15 minutes, then it won't be possible for you to write good answer. Just think about it. This is what I just wanted to you can say highlight before you. Similarly, if you look at the question, which is very easy, question number 5, human beings should always be treated in themselves and never as means. explain the meaning and significance of this statement, giving its implication in the modern techno-economic society. Fine. Means in debate is very old in this paper. But anyone who understand or gone through the Kant's principle of ins, then they will be in a position to write better answer. You don't have to write theory or theoretical answer, but then from where you will get the stuff to write. If you simply play around the keywords, then most of the students will write. Why you will get edge over the others? This is my question to you. आपको edge कहाँ से मिलेगा? नहीं मिलेगा. So only keywords are not sufficient. This is my my next point. Now look at the another question, another type of question. Right from the moral thinkers, that every year you will find they ask 4 to 5 questions without fail. This is probably the only area where they have maintained the consistency since 2013. Fine. Now in moral thinkers, what is needed is one and only one thing, and that is how do you understand that some teachings are relevant in contemporary time or different contexts. That's it. Whether it is Gandhi's, you can say the principle of 7 sins, or for that matter, you can also say doctrine of limit, where Gandhi talks about the need and you can say that consumerism and all. So my point is basically when you are conceptually little bit aware of these kind of things, it's okay. If not, just go through certain things. वो PDF भी मिल जाएगी आप लोगों को, साइट से डाउनलोड कर लो, and practice, reflect the things around its application in the contemporary world. And this is what the moral thinkers is all about. Moral thinkers में इसके अलावा कुछ करनी नहीं है. हाँ, कुछ statements बहुत ही abstract होते हैं जो difficult बना देते हैं चीज़ों को. But then that we will discuss. Don't worry for that. Next point, if you look at interestingly, look at how paper evolved. This is where I wanted to bring you. So if you look at the emotional intelligence, if you look at the questions since 2013, 14, 15, 16 and all the questions are very basic, which talks about the EI. And everyone is happy to write. Very good. But if you go to 2021 onwards, you will find the real depth they have started testing you. For example, read this question to understand it in a better way. Now, it says the question number 8 says, what really matters for success, character, happiness and lifelong achievement is a definite set of emotional skills, your EQ, not just purely cognitive ability that are measured by conventional IQ tests. Do you agree with this view? Give reason in support of your answer. Do you know that this is the one thing which wants to test you, that why there was a discussion that why IQ is, or why IQ cannot make you a good leader. This discussion and many research papers were published in 60s, 70s and 80s, and that particularly talks about the limitations of the IQ, that IQ is good for entry level, IQ is good for certain set of skills, but IQ cannot make you a leader. And then the discussion comes around the EI or EQ. So the point which I'm trying to say is that somewhere you will have to realize that paper has evolved. They have gone to test the deep concepts and its application, which goes much beyond the keywords. This is where I wanted to bring you. And I have started that how you have to go through the PYQs, how to identify the themes, and then how to understand the way paper has evolved. So may that when you go through go for the self-study, practice, etc., you have a fair understanding to measure your progress. Otherwise, you will keep writing, just it will become a customary. Since there is a noise that you should do something, so you are doing something. This is not the way. You create a matrix where you can measure. And this is This is what I wanted to bring before you. Just wanted to highlight that what are the points and how you are going to measure your entire preparation. So in the entire paper, for that matter, it has evolved. For example, if you look at this attitude, every year they are asking one or two questions, but it typically wants to ask one and only one thing, and that is about the behavioral change. Behavioral change. They are asking questions which demands a quality solution. Quality solution. For example, just see it. Just read this question, question number 2. You will understand it. We are witnessing increasing instances of sexual violence against women in country despite existing legal provisions against the number of such incident is on the rise, suggests some innovative measures to tackle the menace. Now look at this question. It clearly says that there is a limitation of the legal provisions. Yes, of course, yes. Mind it, morality cannot be legislated. I repeat my sentence, morality cannot be legislated. But law is important because of the uniformity, regulation of the behavior, and it ensures minimum morality. It ensures minimum morality. But then question is here that law is not the solution of every problem of the society. And so if you have to bring the sustainable solution, what behavioral change and how you will bring the solutions. And this is where comes the issue what I raised, reflection, thinking. If you understand the value of it, if you have method to doing it, then obviously you will do during these days so much that your subconscious, or you can say your brain is very alert and it's really working in those 3 hours. That's why I am using the word reflection, reflection. और क्लास में मैं बहुत सारे रिफ्लेक्टिव एक्सरसाइज जो कराता हूँ उसका रीज़न ही यही है कि साहब अगर आप थिंकिंग को इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दे रहे हैं तो आप एज नहीं ले सकते दूसरों के साथ. इट्स कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशन, सो यू विल हैव टू लर्न टू टेक द एज ओवर द अदर्स. It's very simple, very straight. Fine. This is where I wanted to bring you. So my conclusive remark of today's session is basically that number one, that if you go through the PYQ, try to understand the how paper has evolved. How paper has evolved. There are 4 broader categories in which you can simply keep all the questions. Number 1, open-ended. Number 2, keywords. Number 3, solution seeking. Number 4, applied. And if you go through all the units of the syllabus, you will find that some or other themes are there around which the you can say the unit of that particular unit moves. That idea of the theme also you can identify through the previous question paper, which I have discussed and highlighted some of the things. Moral reasoning, moral relativism, etc. Fine. So this is how you can do some kind of homework to understand the paper very well, to understand where your preparation has reached, and my last point is basically to create certain metrics around which you can measure your progress. Otherwise, it will keep, you can say, it will be an open-ending, you can say, or open-ended things which will not give you the confidence. So just sit, reflect upon it, create a one-page strategy sheet for yourself, and that strategy sheet for yourself should be like GPS, which completely gives you a direction that this is how you have to move. Rest is ability of the mentors with whom you will interact, and his ability to correct the papers, guide you. So these are certain things around which you have to keep your preparation. This is what I wanted to highlight for the section A today. As far as section B, case study, is concerned, case study is, you can say, extension of section A. And so I will suggest that you should be very good in section A. If you are good in section A, you will be good in section B also. And it is not more than 3 to 4 days, you can say, और 3 से 4 सेशन से ज़्यादा केस स्टडी में नहीं लगते हैं. इम्प्रूव हो जाता है, बहुत इम्प्रूव हो जाता है, प्रोवाइडेड यू आर गुड इन सेक्शन ए. If you are not good in section A, then you will struggle in section B. So that part I will take separately, case study. उसको मैं अलग से लूँगा. और ये वाला जो part है, this is all about this, and this is all about today's session. So thank you very much. Thank you.